What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Slam Sessions right here on YouTube. That's right, it's another live stream on a Thursday. I told you guys I was trying to be a little bit more consistent with this, and I missed out on the past couple of weeks, but I'm here. So, yeah, I'm here. So, I hope you guys are all doing well. Just wanted to jump on for a little bit and figure, we talk wrestling for a little while, and then see where the night takes us. I'm watching Harry Flynn. What's up, buddy? Watching. I'm like weeks behind on SmackDown, so I got that going on in the background just so I can see some of the stuff that I miss out on. I've been binge watching all the old Royal Rumbles while I've been working at home. I got them thrown on in the background. Oh, I got a like already. You guys are great with the likes. Thank you. Yeah, I binge watched the. I've been binge watching old school Royal Rumbles. I started from the 2019 Royal Rumble. Yes, Inigo Montoya. Unfortunately, another Albert live stream. But yeah, I started from the 2020 Rumble and worked my way back to the. I'm right now. I think I'm in the middle of the 2010 or 2009. No. I'm earlier than that. I think maybe I'm at 2008. So I'm slowly but surely working my way back, trying to get all the Royal Rumble matches in before I head to my buddy's house and go watch the Royal Rumble live on the 31st. Z Infinity, King Kaido, what's up, guys? How are you? But yeah, so that's my tradition. My tradition is that every January I watch all the Royal Rumbles, all the Royal Rumble matches. So I actually I went a little bit out of order. A couple of nights ago, I was I was a little bored, and I decided just to watch the '95 Rumble for just really, honestly, no reason whatsoever. So I can skip over that one. But I'm doing pretty good. Usually it takes me a while. I usually have to watch a few after the Royal Rumble this year. But being blessed by being able to work from home these past few days, I've had them on in the background, and I've kind of known, and I know everything that's going on because all I do is watch all of them. And that includes the Greatest Royal Rumble, guys. By the way, throwing that out there. I even watched the Greatest Royal Rumble from Saudi. So, yeah. Big Blue Attack, Jay Marshall. How are you guys? Thoughts on Nikki Bella joining WWE Creative? Actually, it's a great way to start here, Harry. I like the idea. I think it's a good idea. Here's the thing about it. You guys were, a lot of you guys were on the stream on Monday when Dave and I spoke about the idea of the females in WWE maybe getting their own show. And I would love to see Nikki be on the creative team and be a driving force behind something like that, because Nikki is very well spoken. She's great on interviews. She's a great representation for the company. And Harry, don't take any offense. I know this is your girl, but she's absolutely gorgeous. So it really, speaks to the WWE brand to have her be a person who goes out and kind of like, Big Blue Attack. You're missing out. We had a good one on Monday. But yeah, I think it's a great idea. I like Nikki a lot. So I think it's a good jumping off point. I also think that the WWE needs more female, more female minds behind the scenes. I think it's a lot of guys. A lot of guys, are writing for wrestling, and predominantly a lot of the people who are watching are males. I mean, there's not one female in this live stream. I mean, pretty much ever. I don't think I've had one. There'll be one on this channel at one point, but that's only because she's going out with me, and she's almost contractually obligated by the terms of being in a relationship to help me out. So, but yeah. I think there should be a female writer on staff and join the creative team to help them with some of this stuff. Harry, honestly, I watched the '95 Rumble. Did I watch? I'm trying to think now. Did I watch? It was, yes. Yeah. It was because, yeah. So I actually watched the '95 Rumble because I thought it was the shortest one. But that's actually the '94 Rumble, where it was, I think, every minute somebody came in. So I decided to, I was like, oh, I'll throw on the '95 Rumble real quick just to watch it. And then I realized, oh, no, wait, it was the '94 Rumble that was, or it was the other way around. Maybe I watched the '94 Rumble and wanted to watch. That's what it was. I'm sorry. I messed up. I watched the 94 Rumble, but I wanted to watch the 95 Rumble. I forgot that the year that Shawn wins it's only every minute somebody new comes in. So, yeah, I was like, oh, there's like a quick 40-minute Rumble that I can just watch. I had something to do in that period of time, and I was like, I can get most of this knocked out. And then I realized I watched the wrong one. That's me. You binge watched the Greatest Royal Rumble. Just the Greatest Royal Rumble match. That was it. Just the actual match. Look, I'm a sucker for any battle royal type match. I just I watch all the World War IIIs over again all the time. I search WWE for battle royals. I search the network. I search the term battle royal on the WWE network once every 3 months just to see if there's a battle royal that's on the network that I haven't seen. Because I love the over the top rope concept. I don't know what it is. It's my favorite match. It's my favorite pay-per-view. I love battle royals. So that's why I watch them all. And I know a lot of people don't like the whole Saudi thing. I don't think the 50-man Rumble was bad. I actually thought it was pretty good. I thought it was booked pretty well. I know a lot of people weren't happy with the outcome. Oh, Braun gets this big title or whatever. But, whatever. I'm sorry, Z Infinity. I saw your comment before. I will talk to Dave about that, and I'll let him know. I can't promise anything because I know Andy Ruiz, who is usually here, in my live streams, has asked me to do the same, and Dave was very unwavering in his unlike for that. But I don't remember you doing anything bad. I was in the stream almost the entire time on Monday, and I don't remember. He must have done it accidentally. Jay Marshall, look, just don't tell Harry that you prefer Brie to Nikki because he actually maybe he would be happy about that because then it's one less person trying to get in on his girl. I hope in 5 years the storyline haters like it was made by Nikki. I hope so too. Look, I hope is that if they do put Nikki on the creative team, I hope that she lends a female mind and a female lens to what the WWE is doing right now. They need all the help they can get. I really think I was talking to a friend of mine, and somebody was saying, oh, the WWE creative, it's bad, this and the other thing. I think that the WWE needs to shake up their entire creative team once we're allowed to have fans. Look, for right now, I think we're okay. I don't think the WWE booking is as bad as everybody makes it out to be. And me and Dave were very much complaining about Raw on Monday, but we neglected to, not that we neglected to mention, but we weren't aware of the fact that a lot of people, not just Drew McIntyre, were out due to COVID or someone who came in contact maybe with Drew that may have not been able to attend Raw, and that's why we saw so many of the same people in the same matches. So I think that was a reason why Raw maybe was a little bit off this week. But yeah, outside of that, I don't think Raw's been that bad, and I know that maybe a lot of people don't share that same sentiment, but that's the way I feel. I don't feel like I'll be welcome to Dave's live stream because what my friend did to him about 4 years ago. Big Blue Attack, I don't know what that was. But yeah, I don't think Dave minds. You've been in Dave's streams often, and I don't think he's ever said anything cross to you about it. I mean, maybe that's something that you should, maybe message him about and see what's going on there. But I don't think that I don't think he would. You didn't do anything to him, so that shouldn't mean anything. So at least the way it is to me. I mean, I'm friends with people who are friends of people who actually done horrible things or said horrible things about me or to me. So, you can't blame somebody else for somebody else's mistake. Yeah, look, Jay, I love battle royals, man. I can watch a battle royal every day. I think that's something WWE doesn't do enough of is battle royals. I feel like every time we, on Raw, I think it would benefit from a nice 2-segment battle royal every once in a while for a number one contendership or for even not even just for the world title. I would love a mid-card battle royal to have a bunch of those guys represented on the Intercontinental, for the Intercontinental title or the US title. Z Infinity, I'm with you there. That Rumble very much did lack star power. But I like the ending. And look, anything that Bret Hart wins is okay by me. And I did like the fact that the Steiners were in it. That was kind of cool. What's your thought on AEW last night? Jay Marshall, I'll be completely honest with you. I did not watch it. I really want to weekly get back to watching AEW weekly. But as you know, unfortunately, he's not here because if he was here, he'd call me out on it. Um, but why can't I think of who I'm thinking of right now? AJ Envoy always tells me all the time, like, "Oh, you're never going to catch up on NXT." I'm so far behind on NXT, and I want to watch every episode, so I'm trying to. So it's hard for me sometimes on a Wednesday to like put that off to the side. Like the Royal Rumbles, I'm binge watching them; they're on in the background while I'm doing my work. Like I'm not fully paying attention. Like I'll peek over every once in a while, but for the most part, I hear the commentary and I almost know exactly what's going on because I've seen them so many times. Oh, okay, Big Blue Attack. Okay. Yeah, but that wasn't you. You didn't do that. Come into look. Come in. I'll be there on Monday. This coming Monday. I don't think I have anything to do or any reason why I wouldn't be able to make it. So if you're there, if I'm there, just bring it up again, and then we'll hash it out. But I don't think Dave's going to be mad at you. I mean, look. To be honest, that dude was very wrong. Your friend is very wrong for doing what he did, but that wasn't anything that you did. So he shouldn't be. He shouldn't hold that against you. Yeah, and Z Infinity, that ending was great. Harry, I don't mind that. That's actually kind of funny. Be like, oh, like have like Morrison just going like, hey, cash in, cash in, cash in, and he's like, I don't want to get COVID. But I don't think Vince is going to put that as a part of a storyline because let's face it, I was surprised that Drew even said the word COVID on TV last week. Or, I'm sorry, this week. Yeah, see, Jay Marshall, that's the thing. And this is a fault of my own. I'm an all or nothing kind of a guy. I don't like to go on Inigo Montoya. Yes, 100%. That's exactly what I meant. I don't like to go on like YouTube and stuff like that and watch the current products because I feel like that's like that's me being like a fair weather fan. I'm also the kind of person, and I say this all the time. Good Big Blue Attack, definitely, and we'll get that squared away. You're a good dude, like, and I don't think Dave has anything against you. So I don't think you should be, punishing yourself for the sins of another person. But you should definitely yell at your friend because he was very wrong. but yeah, so I feel like I'm a fair weather fan in that way, and I've been very adamant about the fact that people have told me, well, you missed this week on this week, you missed on Being the Elite that they set up this storyline. Being the Elite's on YouTube. I don't watch current products on YouTube. So like if you don't build a storyline through TV, and look, even still, that's even not a general excuse. If they set it up through Being the Elite, they can show the clip on TV. So for me, and that's the reason why I think like for the most part, I don't go back and watch stuff like that. There you go. Harry Flynn's a mod now. He can resolve your sins. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this set up. I'm back on back on the couch instead of in front of my desk. I got a futon up here. I'm trying to like change things around, maybe change some scenery. Maybe it'll make me want to do more, but we'll see. And Kaido, I think you're probably right. I very much enjoy everything that I watch on NXT. I'm still, I'll put it to you this way. I'm so far behind that Legado de Fantasma really basically just formed. So that's how far back I am. I'm like 5 or 6 months behind. It's horrible. But the thing is that I made a New Year's resolution, and that was to finish all the stuff that I was in the middle of watching. So that also is counting for TV shows. So I'm in the middle of finishing up the last season of Arrow. I'm almost done with that. Next, I have to finish up the last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I never finished that. And then after I'm done with those, NXT is kind of like the next thing on my list, where that's going to be like I'm going to try to watch 2 or 3 episodes, like like at least like 2 episodes or something like that every week to to try to like catch up and binge. But we'll see. I'm also like 2 episodes away from finishing The Boys now too. So, but that's something I watch with my girlfriends. That's a little bit different of a way to catch up on. And Big Blue Attack, I'm glad you're going to come back. Like I said, I don't think Dave's going to have a problem with you being there. Yeah, the 2001 Rumble was awesome. Z Infinity, I'm a big fan of just about every single one of them. I liked last year's. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I liked last year's because now that we have the Women's Royal Rumble, we got a proper Royal Rumble, and then we got the Brock Domination Rumble, which I thought was a little bit of a cool thing because we never saw that before. And I'm a sucker for seeing things that we don't see before. And a guy coming in from number 1 and throwing out that many people in succession was something we've never ever seen, and I thought that was cool. And I know a lot of people were very big detractors of last year's Royal Rumble. Are the ones that say that like the 90 not 90, was it 95 that no, I'm way off. 95. The 97 Rumble where Austin dominated the entire Rumble. Everybody was totally cool with that. You know, that he was throwing out random people. They weren't okay with it with Brock. I think that was just wrestling fans being wrestling fans and they just don't like Brock. And I think that was kind of a BS thing. But I love this year's Rumble. And I'm glad you did too, Kaito. My favorite Royal Rumble winner? That's a good question. I mean, I guess Brett, because Brett's like, you know, and here's the thing. Out of my like top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time, none of them won a Royal Rumble except for Brett, and he co-won a Royal Rumble. Macho Man never won a Rumble. Jericho never won a Rumble. Rob Van Dam never won a Rumble. So, you know, like those are like, you know, like perennially, like, you know, Mick Foley never won a Rumble. I don't know, like Foley, you know, can be in and out of my top 5. Depends. It's very hard to make that list. Austin's in there somewhere. I like sometimes I rate him down low, but he should be higher. But whatever. But I would probably have to say Brett, and Austin, because Austin's Rumbles were usually kind of fun to watch. I'm looking forward to Winter Soldier and the Falcon show on Disney Plus. See Infinity, so am I, and we are like T minus like a couple of hours for Disney Plus to be adding the WandaVision, and I'm very, very, very excited about WandaVision. I follow a couple of people who are in the industry that have seen the first couple episodes, and they've said nothing but great things. And one of them is a very big DC supporter, more than they are a Marvel supporter. And they had nothing but kind things to say about it. So I'm very much looking forward to WandaVision. Oh, that's awesome, Z Infinity. You were there live? So, the only live Rumble I ever went to was 2008. And this was back, and I know that you guys probably are watching this channel and think to yourselves that this Albert never existed. But there was a very long time where, you know, the person that the wrestling fan that I claim that I hate all the time, I was one of them. I did not like Cena. I hated Cena's guts. Every time I would see anything, you know, with John Cena and him being in the main event or him doing anything big, I would automatically get really angry and pissed off and stuff like that. And I was very happy I was going to a Royal Rumble where, you know, I got to see, you know, like somebody who, you know, somebody win it and, you know, wouldn't be Cena because he wasn't there. And then it was the surprise 30th entry. I thought Triple H was going to win, and I was totally okay with that. Oof. That wasn't good. But I look back at it now, and I look back fondly. You know, I'm glad that my friends convinced me to stay, because I actually, as soon as Cena's music hit, I jumped up and I went, I'm leaving. I was like, I'm leaving. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I don't want to fucking deal with seeing this guy win. And my friends were like, come on, Albert, just sit down and watch the end. Maybe he won't win. I was like, of course he's going to win. But it was a Rumble. I really wasn't going to go anywhere. But yeah, I gotta change that. You know, like once WWE starts touring again and we're able to go to shows again, I have to change that. I'm also still waiting for AEW to figure out what they're doing with the Blood and Guts show that I was supposed to go to in what was it, February, and then it was July, and then it was June, then it was July, then it was February of this year. So I'm waiting to see what AEW does with that. If they want to give me my money back, I'm okay with that at this point. But you know, I actually much rather go to the show, but it doesn't look like we're ever going to get shows in New York in a very long time. So, the 2018 Rumble was great, Harry. It was a really that was an excellent Rumble. I'm assuming you like it because of the outcome, but yeah, I agree that Jericho should have definitely won a Rumble. Kurt Angle definitely should have won a Rumble. You see, Jay Marshall, here's the thing. We talk now about the WWE not marketing superstars the right way, and it diminishes their star power. They actually did that with Cena. They booked him the right way, and they didn't diminish his star power. They put him out there at the forefront all the times, and then everybody's thing was, they shoved him down our throats. And I get it. The whole thing, you know, Cena's run, you know, for that you know, period of time was very long. And yes, I know, to a point, a lot of people say it was, you know, it was a little bit, you know, overkill. But that's why I hate the argument, the shove down our throats argument, because that's such a subjective thing. the WWE saw that Cena was a star. He was, and I know Dave all the time tells me like, well, the ratings went down during Cena's reign and blah, 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 blah. But wrestling on it in and of itself was on a decline. You can sit there and see how many people are huge monster fans of like, on the internet right now. They're like, this guy has all the potential in the world. And then they don't draw. So, I think that they weren't wrong with the way they booked Cena. They made him a star, and they never made him look weak, because there's no reason to make your top guy look weak. He was marketable. They don't have a star like that anymore. And I get it. A lot of people were mad. The Decade of Doom, the 5 Moves of Doom, whatever it was. I liked, like looking back at it now, I liked what they did with Cena. Could have given other guys a little bit more of an opportunity? Yes. But I think that Cena's run was fine. And yeah, I agree, Kaido. Like the end of his career, so John Cena is actually a very poignant, see Infinity, man. It was good to see you. And yes, I did know that Jericho was supposed to win, and I was very upset when he didn't in 2012. But thanks for stopping by, buddy. But John Cena is actually a very big catalyst to my change in the way I think about wrestling, because I told this story before. I don't know if I told it on here, but I have told it before, maybe on Dave's stream. There was a friend of mine, a friend of a friend, who got into a huge argument, who I got into a huge argument with about Cena, and his thing was, I don't care what John Cena does outside of the wrestling industry. I don't care what he does for Make-A-Wish. Keep him the hell away from the world title for a while. And I'm like, do you not understand how you're not correlating the two? These are kids, children who are marketing they're marketing the brand towards the future of the industry. And this guy has a kid now, and I would love to know what would have happened if he would grow up to be like a huge, because he hates Roman. He's okay now that he's a heel, because he said that was always his idea. Turn him heel. I've said that forever, because he knows everything, because wrestling fans know everything. And I realized at that point, I went, oh, if I'm this douchebag internet wrestling smart wrestling fan, I'm on this guy's side, and I never want to be on this guy's side, ever. Even if 95% of the time he's right, having that attitude, not caring about how great of a human being that John Cena is outside, and not seeing that he had a very strong legion of young fans who are going to grow up, be the future of wrestling fans, who are now, let's face it, we're 2020. What Cena like started like very big in like 2008. Those are like like the teenage wrestling fans right now were built on John Cena. So, that really changed my perspective on wrestling a lot, hearing that. Inigo Montoya, I think so. I hope so. But I also heard that a lot of that is happening with Doctor Strange as well. And I don't know if Doctor Strange is set to appear in WandaVision, but I know he is set to appear in Spider-Man. So, maybe that'll be, something. I don't know if it's going to be in WandaVision, but I think it's going to have something to do with it. And I hope so. I can't wait for that. Kaido, I agree. I think if Angle would have stayed, he would have won a Rumble. El Generico ended Kevin Steen's 15-month ECW World Title reign and immediately got injured. Oof! That actually sounds like real life NXT. Every time a guy, they have like a big guy, he comes in, wins the title, and gets hurt. Although with Karrion Kross being back, that's pretty awesome. And they're also, Harry, this is something for you. They already announced that they've got a Karrion Kross figure on the way already. I'm kind of pumped about that. I'm a big proponent on Karrion Kross. Wrestling has been on decline for years now, but Cena being the top guy hardly helped. There are a lot of people that stopped watching because of him. I mean, maybe that is the truth, but by that same point, once again, this is my feeling on that. If one guy is the catalyst for you to stop watching wrestling, you were never a wrestling fan in the first place. Because there are always guys littered across the show, despite where they're booked, that you don't like. We go through it all the time. You can go through the Attitude Era, and I'm not usually one of these guys. There's not many people I'm not a fan of. I think the only person who really jumps to mind that I really can't stand anytime they're on my TV is Lacey Evans. But outside of that, there's not really like anybody I like absolutely despise to the point where I would stop watching wrestling, even if they were a world champion or anything like that. Like I'm totally like, and that's my thing. That to me is a very fake, fair weather wrestling fan kind of thing to do. I like, like I don't like Cena, but I'm a big fan of Edge and Christian and Jericho and Kurt Angle and Triple H and Shawn Michaels and maybe mid card guys at that point that were on their way of coming up like Kingston and Ziggler and whatever the case may be. So wouldn't you aren't you doing yourself a disservice because you're stopping watching wrestling because of one guy? Like I can understand you saying, "Hey, I love wrestling, but I hate John Cena. I'm not going to watch John Cena's segments. When John Cena's on TV, I'm going to turn it off." Okay, I get that. But to stop watching the product fully doesn't make any sense to me. Like that's stupid. Like you're that's not like you're not saying I dislike this show. It's I dislike this person. And wrestling, as I say all the time, is best put out as a buffet. There are certain things that you may not like at a buffet, and you can very easily just walk past them. But then when you go to the, you're at the buffet and there's something you do like, you load up your plate on it, and that's what you're supposed to. Zack Sabre Jr. is a very good replacement there, Big Blue Attack. Yeah, Kaido, look, here's the thing. I don't want to talk negative about anybody because I have nothing personal against Lacey. I think she's probably a really nice person in real life. She seems like a great mom, and it seems like she does like a lot of good work. In her off screen. I know she was in the military. Like, there's nothing negative I can say about Lacey as a human being, but just her character work is too over the top for me. Her in-ring work is definitely not polished enough for me. And everybody talks about Nia Jax and how like she's dangerous. Yeah, Lacey may not have hurt anybody, but she's very botchy, and she could be very much on the cusp and the borderline of hurting somebody sometimes, the way I see it. And look, I'm not defending Nia at all, and I'm also not trying to indict Lacey because I think she's gotten better. But the constant flip-flopping of her character also didn't work. It didn't, like, I think she worked better. I think she does work best as a babyface. Like, she should be that all-American female babyface, and them making her a heel, I think it does a disservice to her. I don't like the whole thing that she's doing with Ric Flair now. Like, it's cute, but I wish it was somebody else. But that's just my bias because I'm just not a big fan of her. And that's just me. And again, nothing against her. It doesn't hit me. It doesn't, and that's the thing. But I won't stop watching Monday Night Raw because she's on there. Ever. What's up, buddy? Thank you for actually stopping by real quick. Dude, are you that bored? You want to, you want to hang out? Come over. Actually, we can't do what we would usually do, but actually I can. I have been, but whatever. Sorry, that Tom's my best friend in the entire world. He'll be on this channel at one point, so get ready for that. That should be fun. Tom is not a wrestling fan whatsoever, but he's going to be on the channel, and I have plans for why, and it's going to be fun. We should try to do that this week. You know it. Listen, I said I was going to try. It didn't work. My bad. But the whole world. But kind of, yeah, definitely make her a face. But yeah, that's the way I feel. And like I said, if that's something that like people are big fan, they're big fans of Lacey, more power to you. It's the same thing when everybody, sits there and they're like, no one likes Roman Reigns. And then, he sells more merchandise than everybody else. People obviously like him. You know what I mean? Like, I never understood that argument. It's a very vocal minority of people. But yeah. And see, there you go, Kaido. That's a perfect example. I get look, SmackDown. I think the booking on SmackDown has been great. It's been much better than Raw. I think we've been, we say that every week. And a lot of people, want to pin that on it being a 2-hour show. I don't think it's that. I think it's that they're just booking their characters better, and they're booking their stories better, and they're giving more people opportunity on SmackDown than they are on Raw, in my opinion. But you don't like Corbin, and that's fine. I don't like. There's nothing wrong with you disliking Baron Corbin. But I do appreciate the fact that even though you do dislike Baron Corbin, you can still watch an episode of SmackDown and know, all right, this segment's just not going to be my thing. You guys know how I feel. I like Corbin, but like the same thing. Like Lacey being my example. I'm not a big Lacey Evans fan, but I'm not going to turn the TV off when she's on there. Especially for a very long time, she was teaming with Peyton Royce, which I mean, I'm not going to turn my TV off on Peyton Royce anyway, you know. And that's not just because she's beautiful, but I think she's ridiculously talented too. You know what I mean? So, it's a slippery slope. Kaito, I know you probably might have like an issue of seeing a guy like Corbin on TV, and maybe he's feuding with a guy who you're actually a big fan of. So it's hard because you don't want to tune in during a Corbin segment because you can't stand him, but you also don't want to tune out because maybe you're a big fan of Chad Gable or I don't even know who Corbin's even feuding with right now to even give you an example, but whatever. I'll just use Chad Gable as the example. So it does give you that thing. And that's why, like, as a fan, I don't turn the TV off on wrestling anymore. I've tried not to. See, Jay Marshall, that's another thing. I really enjoy what they've done with, on SmackDown. I think that Paul Heyman's added so much to SmackDown. I did, Kaito. I did. I know that's why I use Gable as the example. But because I remember that's something that you have in common. Inigo Montoya, I like Corbin. I know a lot of people don't like Baron Corbin, but I do. Also, it is so weird how much shorter Kayla Braxton is. Like, she doesn't look as short, like if you just look at a picture of her, but she's actually pretty short. Like, she's standing next to Bianca in this segment, and she's short. Like, Tom, you might be right. Hey, look, certain things just may not be your cup of tea, right? Harry, I'm not wishing that upon Gable. Gable's he's doing his whole ordeal with Otis right now, and hopefully that raises that level. Hey, Mr. J, how are you, buddy? Jay Marshall, I've never disliked Corbin. I've always kind of liked Baron Corbin, but that's just me, I liked him in NXT. I liked his the indie hater gimmick. That's what made him grow on me. I thought his talking smack promos were really good. I think they could have went with that a little bit more. I think they would have been great. But look, that's just me. I know Indigo. I know a lot of people don't, say that they don't like him. But I'm I guess one of the few. But yeah, we're gonna have to get. I'm glad that Tom stopped by just because. Now I can hold him to the fact that he's gonna have to appear on the channel. I don't know if you're still here, Tom, but maybe this weekend, maybe we can do something. If you're not doing anything this weekend, maybe we can. I'll give you the idea first and foremost. And this I'm just gonna say this now, just in case you guys aren't aware. If you want to, if you have a Twitter, you should follow me at KYD Justice on Twitter. If you do that, I'm going to try to start. I know AJ Envoy asks me about this all the time. I'm also thinking about making an Instagram specifically for the channel to try to booster that, do that. So maybe that if people have Instagram, maybe that's an easier thing. I'm going to try to start asking you guys a little bit more in videos to comment about like what's the easiest way to let you know what content is coming out. But yeah, like I want to do some new things this year on this channel. And one of them is featuring, my friend Tom as a part of the channel to have him sit down. And he's a very fair weather wrestling fan. He's a big Royal Rumble fan. And outside of that, he really doesn't watch wrestling at all. So for me, I think it would be interesting to see how he reacts to different match types, like show him a very technical style match to see what he thinks, to show him a very a hardcore match, a match with high flyers, just to see what an outsider's, a casual wrestling fan's opinion is of what draws them into wrestling. Now, again, that would be one man's opinion. And I'm not saying that's what everybody, would want, but I think it would be a really good way to get into the minds of people who aren't wrestling fans to see what they want and to see where the wants and desires of wrestling fans and people who aren't wrestling fans, to see where they overlap. It's almost like a YouTube Venn diagram. So that's the plan for this coming year. Yes, Tom, they do. The Money in the Bank matches. It has the contract, and whoever wins the contract can cash it in at any time for a world title shot at the world champion. They do those. So obviously, it seems like you're a big fan of those. So maybe we'll watch. Maybe that'll be the first match we can watch. Maybe we'll do a Money in the Bank match. But let me know. Maybe we can get this going this weekend. This might be fun. We'd only like hang out for like we hang out for like an hour or two, and we can do our macros and get our stuff together like we said we were going to do, so we can get back in shape this year, and then we can do a live stream. We can be very constructive in a day. Well, if you want to see blood, you might have to go. We might have to go back a little further, but I can find you some bloody stuff. Not going to be hard. Maybe fishing a lot, but I think Paul Heyman could remake a SmackDown 6 with some Raw guy. King Kaido, I think so too. I think that SmackDown in general, there's like 6 guys that can probably build the product around where, and they're young enough that they can get some traction out of it. No, you don't lie to the people here, Tom. You're not giving yourself you're giving yourself too little credit here. Tom's basically my personal trainer. So, oh my God, John and Tom are both in this at the same time. What's up, Bobby? My favorite match of 2020. Oof, damn. Jay Marshall, that's rough. I'd have to look at a list, like the WWE. That's not very friendly, Tom. I have to go back and look at a list. There you are, AJ. I was talking about you before, buddy. Poppy, it's good to see you. Let's actually, maybe we can actually hang out pretty soon. Let me know what your work schedule is. We should get together and hang out for a little bit. I feel like I haven't seen you all year, buddy. But yeah, I need to see a list of like the top 20, matches of the year, or top 10 matches of the year, and then like maybe like make a judgment on that based on that. But that's hard. Where are we going? Oh, AJ, I'm doing great, man. It's no big deal at all. It's just we were actually I was talking about the fact of how I'm trying to catch up on NXT, and how you're the one who always keeps telling me that I'm never going to catch up, because I actually have an old episode of SmackDown on in the background, and I was saying I was catching up on that. But yeah, I mean, I can't believe it. I got I got Poppy and Tom in the same chat at the same time. This is like the best thing ever. AJ, okay, so I talked about this before. Where I'm at in NXT right now, Legado de Fantasma has just basically just formed. I'm at, what was it? Was it Great American Bash? I'm about to watch Keith Lee win the world title. That's how far back I'm behind. Poppy and Poppy, exactly. The Poppy and Poppy connection. But yeah, that's how far behind I am right now. I'm actually ridiculously far behind. Like I'm about 6 months behind. But I've watched like 4 episodes over the past I think over the past like week and a half. So I'm slowly but surely catching up. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna catch up. He did. He asked me a very rough question. It's very I like, it's hard for me to think back. I have the worst memory in the world, about things. So like going back to 2020 to figure out what my favorite match was is probably going to be very hard. Talk about Glacier was John. Poppy. We've talked about this over and over again. Glacier was the best wrestler in WCW history. He had snow that came out for his entrance. He dressed like a Mortal Kombat character, and he just kicked people over and over again. A 240-pound guy that just literally kicked the crap out of people. It didn't get any better than Glacier. I mean, how could you not want a guy that was a knockoff Sub-Zero on your roster? I know I would. Yes, AJ. In my NXT universe, Keith Lee is still very much a prominent part. He's about to be a dual champion. So, and then I'm about to watch Karrion Kross win the title from him. Like, I know what's going on, but I don't want to say that, like, I didn't see it, because, NXT is my favorite brand, so I want to watch everything. I've watched every episode of NXT that was on the network from the day it No, not Lilu. Damn it, Tom. Put the cat out and text me later. Yeah, Glacier did. Glacier's entrances were very, very expensive. But that was indicative of WCW. The left hand not knowing what the right hand was doing. They got this whole idea to do these non-realistic characters while they were going to do the NWO. It kind of didn't fit. Tom, let me know how Lulu is. Put her out, and then text me and let me know how she is. She's not going to like me coming to your house anymore after this. Now that you lit her on fire. But no, I'm so weird. Like my wrestling fandom is so weird. Like I love the whole Glacier Mortis Wrath deal. Like that was to me it was fun. I don't know why, but I enjoyed it. There are some bad tropes in wrestling that I enjoy, and I know a lot of people get mad about stuff like that. But sometimes the cartoony stuff is pretty funny. Hey, Poppy, you put your money on the wrong guy if you thought that Glacier was going to lose that match. That's what we got to do. The next time I come over, we got to watch some old WCW Glacier matches, John. That's what we'll do. I'll put in my. Actually, what you need to do is you need to convince Dennis to let you piggyback. Oh no, he canceled the network. You got to convince Dennis to piggyback off his network subscription, and then tell him to pay for it full time. He can do it. I know he's not working, but he can still do it. Yeah, AJ, that's the thing. Some of them can work. I know everybody now, they're like, we want a realistic based thing. Oh my God, I can't believe that, they're going to go, this was so cartoony. This was so blah, 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 blah. We saw that with the most recent Money in the Bank. Everybody was like, oh, the whole thing, going through the whole thing. That was so corny. I liked it. It was enjoyable. It was fun. It was different. Sometimes we can't all be very serious. How good would wrestling be if every single match was, wrestler one comes out, I'm challenging the world champion for the world title because I'm better than them. And when they come out here, I'm going to kick their ass. And then wrestler number two, who's the champion, comes out and goes, you can try your best to take your title from me, but you'll never get it. That would be wrestling if it was going to be realistic. And if wrestling was going to be based in reality, the Irish whip would never work. Nobody would stand on the outside and wait for guys to run and jump on top of them. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Wrestling in itself is it's a soap opera. It's a TV show. And you can do things on a TV show that are a little bit funny and cartoony and stuff like that because people will agree that they're fun. Yes. AJ, I said it before. Wrestling is a buffet. That's always the way it's been. I am very much enamored by this new Carmella entrance, by the way. I really like her character change. It's hard not to like Carmella because, look at her. But I think that this is her being a heel. It really made her come into her own. I think it was fun watching her. I'm sorry, she was on TV, and this is why I just veered off the subject completely. But, watching her as a babyface, with R-Truth was very enjoyable, and it was fun, and it was funny, and she was entertaining. But, man, she is really good at being that snotty heel. Harry, I'm with you there. I like her old theme, the Iggy Azalea ripoff theme. I'm not a big fan of this one, but I really like her character change. But yeah, and that's the thing, AJ. I would love to see, and that's why, in all honesty, and I say this all the time, WCW and ECW booked their shows, in my opinion, better than WWE almost ever did, because they knew what to do to get different people, involved. Base Up, what's up, buddy? How are you? So, you would see WCW would start off with the cruiserweights, and you would get this car wreck cruiserweight match with these six guys who were jumping all over the place. And you knew that, you weren't going to sit there and look for technical work, right? You knew you were just going to see a car wreck. And it was fun. And then they followed that up with a Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit, having a match, having matches where, and Regal, who were like technical master, having technical masterpieces. And then you'd have like, guys like Brian Knobbs and Finlay, like beating the crap out of each other with, garbage cans. And then you would have like your megastars like Brett and Hogan and stuff like that. And ECW would do the same thing. They would start off most of their shows with like a really hotly contested, like good work rate tag team match to get the fans pumped. And, Shap, how are you, buddy? You would get that, and their shows were booked so well, but it was a buffet. You didn't get the same thing every time. You wanted, and that's why I would ultimately like to see WWE fold the 205 Live brand. And I think they should, they made the Cruiserweight division a part of NXT, and I actually think that was actually I think it was a bad move. I think it would be a really good. The Cruiserweight title should be like on Raw, and that could be like a way to start the show off hot every week. And you build those characters up, do some 6-mans and stuff like that. Get the people, in the crowd or virtually in the crowd. Kind of, we're going to get to that. That's actually one of the big things that I wanted to talk about. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm going to be on for like another 15 minutes. That's kind of how I want to end everything. I might even go overboard when we talk about that. So please, if I don't get back onto your topic in 5 minutes, remind me. But that's what wrestling is. It's best presented as a variety show, a circus. Like if you didn't come for the clowns, that's cool because you might want to see the elephants. And if the elephants aren't your thing, maybe you want to see the lions. And if the lions really don't do it for you, the trapeze might. And that's what I like about wrestling is that we can have all of that. I like the fact that we might want to say that AJ. Yes and no. In the beginning, I don't want that. I want the cruiserweights to stay in their own bubble in the beginning. What I want to see is that when they do break out, they break out of just specifically being a cruiserweight. Like what I would like to see is somebody like Mustafa Ali. I want to pronounce his name right because I don't want to seem insensitive. That's how his name is pronounced. I don't want to say it wrong. So Mustafa Ali comes out and he and he challenges for the cruiserweight title and he wins and then he loses the belt and then he goes off and he does some things, but that doesn't mean he can't go back to being a cruiserweight, but he still also does fight, for like some mid-card guys, the way, in all honesty, the best book cruiserweight division ever was TNA's X division. They would have people cycle in and out. You would have guys like Daniels and Styles would be a tag team for a little while, and they'd go, for 6 months on a tag team run where they would just specifically wrestle in tag team matches. And then you didn't get overburdened by, Oh, Shap, those aren't graphics. This is my Macho Man Wrestling buddy that's in the bottom corner. And on the other corner is a box of coffee that I have empty that I'm going to, when I start selling some of my old wrestling figures, I'm going to start packaging it. Poppy, I hope the Islanders win tonight. I hope they have a good season. Thank you for coming by. Shoot me a text. Let's hang out soon, please. I miss you, Poppy. But yeah, that's the way I would like to see it. Build these guys, give them character, let them go out. Like WCW did well with Rey Mysterio. Like they broke him out of just being, the cruiserweight. They did it with Jericho, Malenko, some of those guys. Eventually when those guys need the push and they need to get out, like a Ricochet, or a Cedric Alexander or a Mustafa Ali, if they, if like they don't have anything to do, they can put them back in the cruiserweight division. If the cruiserweight division needs that shot in the arm, put the title on them, let them, take some guys down. And then, hey, let's just say it's Ricochet. Let's say Ricochet wins the cruiserweight title right now. I don't even know who actually has it. Is it still Phantasma? I think it is still Phantasma, right? It is, actually. He just defended against Grand Metalik. So let's just say Phantasma comes to Raw, right? And Ricochet beats him for the belt. And now Legado de Fantasma, do their own thing. Maybe they do, Phantasma, breaks out of the cruiserweight division, does his own thing. Maybe he comes back. But then eventually, Ricochet now, because he's this big, he's a much bigger star than everybody else. Maybe at the end of the day, Ricochet loses to a heel Tony Nese. And now that elevates Tony Nese to another status. And I think that's how they could book the cruiserweight division better. I would really like to see it booked that way. I like when people cycle through the roster. A main event guy goes on a babyface run, then a heel run, then a tag run, a mid-card. Right, exactly, AJ. And that was the whole thing. Like you would see all the time, a guy like, and I think that might have been everybody's, problem with Cena's run. That for the majority of the time, Cena was booked as just a main eventer the entire time. I think that's why everybody wasn't too upset about the fact when he did the U.S. title open challenges, because at least he wasn't booked in the main event all the time. And I think that's a fair assessment. They should, and I think the WWE doesn't cycle their roster enough. Good Lord. So I don't know what it is since Sasha came back, but I feel like she's prettier now than she ever was. I don't know what it is. I think I've said this a couple of times. But wow. And poor Reginald just keeps getting beat up. Poor Reggie. All right. King Kaido, we're at the 10-minute mark, so I want to get back to what you were talking about. So AEW made wrestling fans a promise. AEW promised wrestling fans that they were going to be sports based, that records were going to matter, that we were going to see more action, we were going to see less gimmicky stuff and stuff like that. We were going to see more old school wrestling. That's what they sold us on. That was the bill of goods that we were sold. We were sold on AEW being a wrestling company. The Bucks, are known for I'm not a big fan of them, but they're known for like their matches, which whatever, say whatever you want. I'm not their personal biggest fan, but whatever. But with guys like the Bucks and Omega, who everybody calls like the best bout machine. Like you want to give him that, you want to give him that moniker. You got to let him live up to it. Like, and my thing is that when you're going to tell me that you're going to have a much more sports-based, reality-based professional wrestling program, and you're sitting there and you're giving me mimosa pool matches and Stadium Stampede matches and all the Matt Hardy matches and all the Matt Hardy, like weird, Matt Hardy-esque matches, and you're doing singing and dancing. I don't mind any of that. That's fine by me. I didn't dislike. I didn't see all the Stadium Stampede match. I saw whatever I could in clips because I didn't order the pay-per-view. But what I saw about it, for the most part, I liked most of it. What I saw out of, the Mimosa Mayhem match, I watched that whole match. It was fun. I know Dave hated it. I loved Le Dinner Debonair. I really enjoyed that. But that's not what AEW sold me on. AEW told me, the wrestling fan, we're not going to be like that other company. We're not going to give you that hokey bullshit. We're not going to insult your intelligence as fans. We're going to be honest with you. We're going to be real. We're going to try to be sports-based. We're going to have rankings, and rankings are going to matter. But now rankings matter, but you're having tournaments for number one contenders. And people are undefeated and not getting title shots. And everybody, and then, and no 50-50 bookings, 50-50 booking. And then everybody's got their records are literally 50-50 booking with them being 5-5. And then they went, well, we're going to reset the records every year, which is just like a soft reboot every year because, and like the ranking thing, don't get me wrong. To me, I think it's a total detraction because the idea, the fun of things is to see a guy like Santino Marella come out of the audience and win the Intercontinental title in his first match. That's fun. But there should be no reason that Darby Allin, comes out and I don't know. I don't even think I've ever really heard him cut a promo, but let's just say he cuts a promo when he says, no one can beat me for this title. And then, I don't know, Shawn Spears, who has a terrible record, comes out and gets a title shot. Why? Why did Omega have a world title match against Joey Janela? And I'm not, this is not me. I know I'm not the biggest Joey Janela fan, but Joey Janela didn't win a match in 2020. I think he didn't win a match at all in 2020. And he got a world title shot. How does that make sense? It's hard to book a show when you have rankings like that because your top ranked guy should be your top ranked guy. He should be your number one contender. And even if he loses, like MJF did, where he has one loss in his record, he should have got a title shot already. Again, another title shot. Why hasn't he gotten another one? He still has a better record than 95% of the roster. Why did Eddie Kingston get a world title shot? And I love Eddie Kingston. I think he's one of the best things going in AEW. His promo work is unparalleled. but he didn't deserve a world title shot. It didn't make sense. And, then you have guys like Lance Archer and, Brian Cage coming in and jumping the gun and jumping over guys like MJF who should have got a title shot before. I'm sorry, guys. I went on a rant and I ignored your comments. Let me shoot some AEW. Some bait and I think they initially wanted to take AEW that more old school way of wrestling, but change that tune because of fans' response. For example, when you have a ranking system, it makes booking more rigid, then perhaps that's perhaps why they went away with it. But AJ, that's completely fine. But what is the one thing that we always say about wrestling and wrestling companies? Don't insult our intelligence. If you know that we don't like the ranking system, and you say the ranking system doesn't work, have Brandy and Cody come out and cut a promo and say, hey guys, look, we're going to do away with the ranking system. It doesn't work. We want this to be more free-flowing. We want to give more people opportunities. There's a kayfabe reason to just get rid of it. Don't insult my intelligence. I know it's hard to book with a ranking system. It's ridiculously hard. I love Orange Cassidy, but belongs to promotions like WWE or PWG. I don't think Orange Cassidy belongs in WWE at all. I don't think that Orange Cassidy works in WWE whatsoever. That character would never work. I think AEW is doing well with him, but I think that it's a slippery slope because he can work. He really can. But then I'm sitting there and I watched like the Dynamite Battle Royal that they had for the ring that MJF won. And he's sitting in there after having like these great matches against like Jericho and stuff like that and throwing those little fake kicks. And I'm like, why? We know you can work, so just work now. Like the gimmick was cute, but I'm over it. And the thing is that he's over and he's popular, So it's a double-edged sword. Like, you want to put, if you put a world title on that guy, am I going to take your company seriously? That's my feeling on him. I know a lot of people like Orange Cassidy. I'm not his biggest fan. Kaido, I agree. That's why I did like PWG for that. Debuting wrestling companies should just not promise anything unless they actually fulfill it. See, that's the thing, EJK. I know that they wanted to sell us on things, but all they had to do was sell us on we're not going to be WWE and here's our roster. And now, we all would have been fine. We all would have bought it. None of us would have been mad about it. If you would have sit there and told me, hey, here's a brand new wrestling company. We have Cody Rhodes, Chris Jericho, Adam Hangman Page, Pac. Okay, Britt Baker. Okay, I'm in. I'll watch this. They didn't have to really make a lot of big promises, but they did, and I don't. They faltered because I don't think they realized what the reaction was going to be to some of them. Because everybody loves hearing things. We love hearing promises. The WWE did the same thing 2 years ago. We covered this, I think maybe on the last stream or the stream prior. 2 years, I almost did a thing on 2 years to the date where WWE promised them that WWE fans that they were going to book more for them. And then if you look, in a microcosm and you look to see how certain things were booked, you can see that it actually looked like they actually did. But no fan's going to give them, the credit for that because they did a lot of bad things. And that's what's happening to AEW. AEW made a lot of promises and now fans are getting on them because of what their promises that they made. Now people are, starting to tune out and turn away. Harry, that's great. The Killian Dane's going to be on 205. That's actually funny. Right. And it's not that you can't, AJ, because you can. But you also back yourself into the corner because if you're going to say, we're not going to do any funny, hokey stuff, but then you come up with a great idea for something that is, now you've booked yourself into a corner because you said, no, we can't do that. We already promised everybody we can't do that, That AEW should have a big celebration of the past 5 years of independent wrestling. The best indie wrestlers, PWG, New Japan, Ring of Honor, PW, all coming together in a mainstream company. Yeah. I thought that was going to be the case too, and I knew that it wasn't going to be for me because there's a lot of stuff about indie. I'm not a big proponent of a lot of the new indie style. I like the early indie style, the Roderick Strong, and I named him first, AJ, just for you. Daniel Bryan, Nigel McGuinness, Kenta, Ring of Honor, like old school indie wrestling. But this new school stuff is very much, it's a lot of no selling and it's a lot of, spot fests and stuff like that. And that's just not me. But that's fine if that's what you like. And if that's what AEW stuck to because that was their core audience, that's fine. They're not, this isn't the Impress Albert show. It's the Impress, the majority of their fan show. That's what they should have presented. What are you talking about, Albert? What sports product doesn't have a musical break? Probably some fake AEW fan at some point in some place. Shap, you're not wrong. I'm sure that somebody said it. Look, I'm totally in agreement with the idea of, oh, sorry. I got distracted. So I'll say this. The rankings work when you do it for a few weeks or months, like TNA's Bound for Glory system. Yes, exactly, AJ. And I always liked that when TNA did that. I really was a big fan of that. It was like, okay, here's 8, 12, 16 guys that we want, that we know that are good enough to be a top contender for the world title. Here's we're going to put them all in matches against each other for the next 3 months, and the winner of that gets a world title shot. Yes, great. Now you keep records, and okay, I'm just going to use random TNA names, from yesteryear in here, in there. Okay, so we know that Doug Williams is 0-6 right now, so he has no chance of getting, to be the world, to be the number one contender. And oh my God, I can't believe that, Magnus is, hasn't lost a match yet, and AJ Styles has lost 2. And oh my God, can Bobby Roode come back from a 3-3 record? That's when it's fun. But doing it every day is, like you said, it's a lot. It's too much. Having it be a weekly thing is too much, or a yearly thing, like you said. Yeah, well, see what you get. Were they bad this week, AJ? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, how bad were their ratings that low? Like, what are we getting at here? Like, are they like well far? Because I knew there was going to be a fall off from the Brody episode, because I mean, a lot of people tuned in specifically. I can tell you right now, the Brody episode was the first episode that I've watched live of AEW since Late Dinner Debonair. That I've watched others. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I haven't watched any AEW since then. It's DVR'd. I do keep it on the background sometimes to kind of just to watch it. But yeah, that was the first episode I watched. Oh my God. Wow. NXT. That's very low for NXT. And that's low for AEW. I don't know. 761. That's not terrible for AEW. That's a bad number for NXT. I think WWE putting NXT on for 2 hours really hurt NXT. It's overexposing some guys, and that's bad, because we see how, I'm sorry, I keep hitting my table here, and that's why I'm shaking. We see how Raw and SmackDown, a lot of the issues that we have could really be, avoided by not overexposing their stars all the time. NXT never overexposed their guys. The one thing I liked about NXT is not seeing the world champion every week, and not seeing but when I didn't see the world champion, the North American title was defended in the main event, and it made it feel more real and more special, and it made it feel more, it made me feel like, that title meant more because it was being defended. And especially during the meat and potato 1 hour Raw, Raw, 1 hour NXT show days, where you would see the tag titles, a very large, a very large, why can't I think of the word? Oh my God, why can't I? Focus. I guess that wasn't the word, but a very large focus on tag team wrestling in the old school NXT that we don't see anymore. And those titles meant so much more. And, oh, excuse me. As you can see, it's getting later, and I'm getting more tired. We can, we see that it is 9:19. Why is my work email going off? Sorry, guys. This is a very weird thing. But but that's always been my that's my way of thinking like AJ said, the 2 hours definitely hurt NXT, and their roster not being as deep as WWE's and them getting people pulled from their roster all the time doesn't lend itself easily to making NXT as successful as it could be. They're going to have to start bringing up some people from the PC that may not be completely ready just because they need talent down there. NXT is like hemorrhaging talent all the time. I can fix this. We will book NXT and have a new show called "Do I Look Like a Zebra to You?" A game show in which. Shap, you just saved NXT and AEW. But that's to kind of put a bow on everything, because as you can see, I'm starting to get tired, and I have to wake up early to work tomorrow, unfortunately. So I'm going to try to get to bed a little early tonight. But I don't. AEW telling me that their product was going to be more sports based has been a big issue because it hasn't been. AEW goes unopposed and does things very well. I can see them getting to perhaps. Having there been episodes, AJ, where AEW did go unopposed, that SmackDown was on a different day, or they went to FS1 and they got like their ratings went like in the dumps. I'm sorry, NXT. I don't know why I said SmackDown, but their NXT was preempted for something, and like they went unopposed and they still didn't get that high. I don't look. Here's the thing, and this is what if I was completely caught up, I probably would do. I watch NXT on the network. That's just where I watch it. Like I don't watch it anywhere else. So there were a few times they went unopposed and got a solid million rating. I don't remember them ever cracking a million except for like once or twice, but I might be wrong. I probably am because I don't pay enough attention. But yeah, if they had that opportunity, sure they might. But I don't think there's a lot of people like pulling away from it because of that reason. I think a lot of people are very conditioned to watch the WWE network to see NXT, and I think that's what a lot of people do. I think a lot of people watch AEW first and then they watch NXT, but I also think that there's a lot less crossover than we think. I think a lot of people that are really big wrestling fans like us, and a lot of people who are very big on the idea of WWE / NXT and AEW and that style of wrestling, they're probably watching both shows. Who knows where wrestling will be 5 years from now? AJ, I can't predict it, but I don't see it being in any place better than it is right now. And that's unfortunate. I want it to be. I want it to be successful. I want to be able to, I felt like wrestling. God, so sorry, guys. I'm going to have to get going soon because this is going to keep happening. I feel like wrestling at its height was at its best during the Attitude Era when more people were watching because less people were mad about what was going on. They were just happy to have good wrestling and have fun wrestling and be able to watch it. And everybody talked about it, and there were people you liked and you didn't like, and there was, things you liked and there was things you didn't like. But for the most part, man, if you were an 18 to 34-year-old male and you wanted to watch professional wrestling and you saw, actually even younger than that, let's face it, I was in junior high during the Attitude Era. It was, you got Sable and, Deborah with their low cut tops and, boobs spilling out all over the place. And you got your, hardcore division and, Mick Foley and his penchant for violence. And then you got Austin flipping off his boss and stuff like that. Like that was the cool thing to watch, And I just don't think that when, we're in such a PG culture right now. I don't think that, Chef, that was good. I just got that. We're never going to see that again. And we're not going to see a lot of controversial stuff. And, we're going to have people who are going to, defy the realm of, what wrestling and wrestling characters could be like Bray Wyatt. But outside of that, it's going to be difficult for wrestling to ever hit that plateau again. Excuse me. Wow, guys, I'm so sorry. All right, you know what? That's like the 5th time I've yawned in about 35 seconds, so I think I'm going to wrap this up. So as you guys saw earlier on, I might be live this weekend. So keep up to date with me on Twitter and on Facebook. It's on Twitter, it's at KYD Justice. I'll type it in because if people want to follow me, they can see it and maybe copy and paste it. That's me on Twitter. Facebook, it's facebook.com/the Slam Sessions Podcast Network. I'm sure if you search for Slam Sessions Podcast Network, it'll come up. Keep up to date, keep up to date with me there if you have the socials. So I can tell you when some of these special edition episodes are coming. I want to try to do something this Saturday. So if I can't get my buddy Tom to sit down with me on Saturday, I might sit down and, have my girlfriend jump on. So stay tuned for that. And in all honesty, I'm going to try, Harry, I will tell you this. There is a chance that I might be able to start editing again. I don't want to say 100% yes, because I don't want to get your hopes up. But when I do, yours is going to be the first video edited. And once I start getting, the option of that there and I can start editing again, I want your guys' suggestions of what you want to see, what you want to hear, what you want to do. If you like the live streams, we'll keep doing them. If you like the videos, I'll keep doing those. But I want this year to be a lot bigger. I'm at over 100 subscribers now. I want to get to 200. I'm not going to go for like a giant, like huge, like thing. I'm not going to say 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever, or to get to Dave's level. I just want more people to see this. So if you have wrestling fans that that might enjoy this, let them know about it. If you see things that I tweet, especially from the Slam Sessions account, retweet it. Try to get the word out. Post my videos up if you have the chance. Share some stuff. This is all community together. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. And believe me, I love each and every one of you for coming here all the time and helping me out and watching me and, helping me get this channel off the ground. So let's make 2021 an even better year. I'm going to try to be on here more. I'm going to try to be on here more often. I'm going to try to be more engaging. I'm going to try to do more things that you guys want to see. So let me know what those things are. Stay tuned to the social media for some new stuff that I'm going to be doing on here. And take care, guys. It was great seeing you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'll see you guys soon.